Prowlers look to salvage some points out of their trip to Danbury in the second game of a two-game set with the hat tricks. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight as the Prowlers take on the Danbury Hat Tricks for the second time this season and the second time in 2 nights. Last night, Brian Wilson shined for the Hat Tricks as they skated away with a 4-1 victory. But he won't be in net tonight for Danbury. We'll let you know who's between the pipes for both sides on the pregame show coming up in moments. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeboard cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
Every hit.
Good hip check.
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut pad, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh boy!
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Here in Danbury, the Port Huron Prowlers and the Danbury Hat Tricks just minutes away from puck drop after last night's 4-1 Danbury victory. Let's take you back through that one. Well, we didn't see an even strength goal until just about 3 minutes left in the third period, but before that, Lucas DeBenedette got things going. Power play goal just 5 minutes into the opening frame. Joe Devaney knotted things up in the second period with a power play goal of his own. That one ended a 7-game point drought for Devaney. John McDonald responded a few minutes later with another power play goal. Then Michael Falanga, as the Prowlers were looking to tie things up, turned things on its head with a shorthanded goal. That extended the Danbury lead to 3-1. And then Ratcliffe late in that third period with the goal that made it 4-1. And again, that was the only even strength goal of the game. Let's take a look at Joe Devaney. Had the power play goal and 3 shots last night, snapping a season-high 7-game point drought. The goal was his 20th of the FPHL season, and he's a guy the Prowlers really want to get going, as he was a huge part of the goal scoring earlier this season, has slowed down just a bit as the season's gone along. But if he can heat back up, especially going back to Delaware next weekend, where he played 10 games last year, we'll see if that gives him some motivation to get on a little bit of a point streak, going. But Joe Devaney stopping the 7-game goal drought last night. Let's see what this victory for the Hat Tricks means in the FPHL's standings. First, we want to look at the Carolina Thunderbirds, who ended up clinching a playoff spot last night with their victory coupled with Mississippi's shootout loss to Columbus. So the Thunderbirds, the 4th team in the FPHL to clinch the playoffs, and now the top 2 teams in each division have now clinched playoff spots. So Columbus and Carolina in the playoffs, Danbury and Binghamton in the playoffs in the Empire division. And I think we will not see another team clinch for quite a while, as the Prowlers about 15 points back of Carolina, while Watertown 33 points behind Binghamton. So plenty of ground for those two to go before they can clinch playoff spots. Of course, Mississippi has picked up points in a number of games recently. Delaware lost last night, but was picking up points before then. But I do believe the Prowlers might be the next one to pick up a playoff spot. Motor City did move within 1 point of the Prowlers with their win over Elmira last night. So look out, Prowlers fans. Your team could be in 4th place in the division by the end of tonight. Take a look at the Prowlers lineup tonight, and we thought Frank Schumacher might try and go, but he didn't take warm-ups. He is not dressing tonight after leaving the game early last night in the first period. So Frank Schumacher will not be in the lineup. So 9 forwards and 6 defensemen for the Prowlers. They start the kid line. Dan Chartrand, Dimitrios Stefano, and Jason Diamond. And on defense, Matt Stoya, Adam Hansel. Wyatt Hofflin gets the call in net tonight for the Port Huron Prowlers. Well, they're just announcing the starters for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Up front is going to be McKittrick, Ruiz, and Ratcliffe. On defense, Xavier Abdello, who got thrown out of the game last night. More on that later. Kyle Gonzalez also on defense. And Frankie McClendon in net tonight for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. We'll take you down to ice level for the rest of the pregame ceremonies and the national anthem.
We ask that you kindly stand and remove your caps. Direct your attention to the flag as we are those who protect our freedom. Singing the national anthem, please welcome Sir Christopher Lynch.
That's Hat-Tricks play-by-play broadcaster Chris Lynch on the national anthem tonight here in Danbury. As the teams get set for puck drop, let's take a look at the goaltending matchup for tonight's game. Two new goalies in between the pipes on both sides, Wyatt Hofflin and Frankie McClendon in net. Hofflin is 10, 11, and 1, 474 goals against average and an 864 save percentage. Frankie McClendon, the journeyman for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Danbury is his 6th FPHL team. This is his 7th FPHL season. He won the 2019 Commissioner's Cup with Carolina and making his first start since February 10th. 5-2-0 with a 207 goals against average and a 910 save percentage. So Brian Wilson getting a well-deserved night off after a fantastic effort last night against the Port Huron Prowlers, in which he made 24 saves on 25 shots and kept his team in front for most of the night and allowed them to extend that lead in that third period. We are underway here in Danbury on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Behind the net, it's McKittrick sending it out in front. Diamond intercepts and gives to Dan Chartrand. Chartrand into the zone. It's knocked away to the corner. And now Dan Chartrand worked it up the wall. Ratcliffe cut it off. He gives to McKittrick. Daniel McKittrick tried to put it on net. Ends up going wide off a body. And now Chartrand back at center. He sends it in, and the Prowlers make a full line change 40 seconds into period number 1. It's Jared Yao holding behind the Danbury net. Yao had a pair of assists last night. Team leader with 24 on the season, but pops out in front, kick saving a beauty from Wyatt Hofflin. Yao put it back on net. That one deflects out of play, but a quick chance in tight for the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and Wyatt Hofflin on his game early. Hofflin trying to get back in the win column for the Port Huron Prowlers, as he has dropped 4 of his last 5 games. Yao rims it around. Battle for on the far side boards. Comes to the point, Dowler put it on net, and Hofflin steers that one aside. Comes to Torrey McLean. McLean sauces it on for Joe Devaney. He chases it down in the corner. Dowler gets there first. McLean in there digging away. Here's Matt Graham, put it on net. That one blocked on the way through. Marchison back in, wrists it on, saved by Hofflin, and the rebound comes right to Austin Federley. Igor Borshev had it knocked away by Thackeray at center. Federley back into the zone, surrounded, and Prowlers just a touch offside, so we'll get a whistle with 18:09 to go in period number 1. This line of Matt Graham, Dalton Jay, and Austin Federley out for the Prowlers had plenty of opportunities last night, some grade A chances, not only on the rush but also in the offensive zone, but unable to get on the score sheet as Brian Wilson shut the door a couple of times. Borshev left it there. Turning away is Falanga. Sends it all the way across. That went off of the skate of his intended target in McDonald. Now Thackeray settles it down in his own ice. Up to Jay. He gives to Federley. 3 hat tricks back to meet Federley at the line. Federley to Alex Johnson walking. He shoots off a body. Chopped back to center. Johnson first on it again. Austin Federley lifts it high to center ice. It's knocked down with the glove of Ruiz, and with Falanga the first one to touch it. Whistle blows for a hand pass there. If Ruiz had touched that one first, it would have been all fine and good, but just didn't get a stick on it. I think he overskated it a bit. He meant to touch it off to Falanga. Either way, a face-off coming, and Diamond able to dump it in off the draw. Now Stefano finds that loose puck, and a sliding block there from Abdella. Stefano again behind the net. Now Diamond feeds it out to Hainzel, just able to keep it in momentarily. Chartrand lost it at center. Ruiz back in, he shoots one into the catching glove of Wyatt Hofflin. He'll hang on for a whistle. 3:04 into period number 1, no score yet. Prowlers have that kid line out there, and Jason Diamond was an offensive threat for the Prowlers on this line last night. He didn't get on the score sheet, but had 5 shots on goal and was a part of the Matt Graham power play unit. Good kick save there from Hofflin on the long-range try from the point. It's Stoya backing up, fed it off the boards. Dowler stepped in front of Diamond. Patricks have the puck back. Yao off the boards all the way down to Prowler ice. Hofflin there to play it. Stoya all the way up to Diamond. He took a hit from DeBenedette, and it's deep in hat-trick territory. Pass too far ahead of Marchison, and then hits the linesman. So fortunate break for the Prowlers as McLean able to drop it off. Devaney's shot blocked. Parsons put it back on, saved by McClendon. McLean looking for that loose puck. McLean has it, and he put it just wide. Zach Pamelayan to McDonald. Things settling down. 4 minutes into period number 1. Foley chases it down on the near side, right in front of the hat-tricks bench. Comes into the zone, and McLean touches it, but offsides the call, as I don't think Joe Devaney ever got all the way out of the zone. So 15:45 to go in period 1, and we have a face-off just outside of the Prowlers' blue line. Tied up there off the draw. And it's lifted high and out. Thackeray trying to knock it down. Falanga had it poked off his stick. That was Matt Graham who poked it off of Falanga's stick, then took Falanga's stick up high. Meanwhile, Michael Falanga right back in offsides at the Prowler line. Plenty of offsides from both teams early in this game. We're just 4.5 minutes in, and we have another face-off coming. This time just outside of the Prowlers' blue line. Early shots favoring the Hat-Tricks. It says 5-2 here on the big board at Danbury Ice Arena. It says 5-0 on my screen here, but that's incorrect. I know Frankie McClendon has made at least one save. Graham trying to force him to make another, but the puck stays to the outside. Gonzalez rims it around past Abdella. Falanga able to start a rush the other way. Could be a 3-on-2 if they hurried, but they could not. Abdella lost it to Graham. Yao found it back in his own end, but he made a pass towards the bench where one of his teammates was changing. Alex Johnson speeds back in. Johnson with an outside try, held on to by McClendon for a whistle. 14:41 to go in period number 1. No score yet between the Prowlers and the Danbury Hat-Tricks. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Well, we mentioned the Prowlers kid line started the game tonight, and they skate back out for this offensive zone faceoff. Plenty of support for Demetrius Stefano and Jason Diamond last night, as a number of their teammates from Western New England University made the trip and came to see their pro debuts. They almost hooked up for a goal in the third period, but it didn't end up working out. But Diamond, as I mentioned earlier, 5 shots last night, and Stefano in there as well, causing plenty of havoc on the forecheck on this line with Dan Chartrand. Here is Stefano pulling up in the near side corner. Sends it down below the goal line. Chartrand out to the slot. It's poked to Stoya. He wrists it on, saved by McClendon, and no rebound. And now Stoya getting into it with Daniel Amesbury, and Matt Stoya is just going to laugh him off as Amesbury heads off to the bench. Matt Stoya can be a bit of an agitator. We've seen in the few games he's played this season with the Prowlers. That game he played at McMorran Place back in October against the Carolina Thunderbirds. He had Daniel Martin chasing after him all over the ice throughout the entire game, going out of his way, trying to get at Matt Stoya. And Stoya just laughed him off the whole way and did the same there to Amesbury. Popped out in front, and McClendon able to make the save on Devaney, and then Pamelayan slashed Devaney. Devaney goes down in a heap behind the net, and Foley in there to throw a shove at Pamelayan. Meanwhile, Devaney a bit slow to get up behind the Hat-Tricks net. I think Pamelayan may have gotten him just perfectly on the wrist. That's why it hurts so much. And now they're sending Pamelayan off the ice. So another Danbury hat trick sent off. We had 2 yesterday. It was Xavier Abdella and Billy McCreary, the head coach. McCreary actually suspended for tonight's game, as his penalty last night was for abuse of officials. That's an automatic 1-game suspension in the FPHL. But Zach Pamelayan, the one heading off the ice. And the Prowlers will send out the power play unit. Matt Graham, Torrey McLean, Dalton Jay, Jason Diamond, and Austin Federley. While the Hat-Tricks get the PK unit of Johnny Ruiz, Daniel McKittrick, Xavier Abdella, and Kyle Gonzalez. Daniel Amesbury heading over there to serve the penalty for Pamelayan, which has not been put up on the board yet. So I don't know how much time it's going to be. It is 5 minutes So a 5-minute major coming for the Port Huron Prowlers on the power play. A huge opportunity for them. They scored their only goal of the game last night on the man advantage. So 5 in a game for Pamelayan, and the Prowlers with an early opportunity to strike. Whistles blow. The scoreboard to our left went out. It's flashing in and out. This was happening. There was an NAHL game, North American Hockey League junior game here earlier today that we were watching, and it was, the scoreboard on our left was going in and out. The scoreboard on the other side of the arena to our right above Wyatt Hofflin was working perfectly the whole way. And that seems to continue. I think the referee just looked up, saw the scoreboard on our left out, and decided to blow it dead. But the scoreboard on our right always seems to be working, so I assume that's what was being communicated to the referees at the scorer's table. Here are the Prowlers back in offensive territory. Got a bit of a break there as Danbury did clear before that whistle. Federley put it on net, didn't get all the way through, and now a shorthanded breakaway almost coming for Ruiz. Hofflin comes all the way out of his goal crease to keep it away from the Hat Tricks captain. Here's Diamond feeding it to Foley off the bench, and that one got through him. 2-on-1 back the other way. Ruiz has a man breaking, shoots it himself, and he scores. It's Johnny Ruiz, the captain of the Hat Tricks, with a short-handed goal to make it 1-0. It was a short-handed goal that took the wind out of the Prowlers' sails last night. As we have something being thrown out onto the ice. I believe those are carrots being thrown out onto the ice. Of course, the Hat Tricks here, well known as the nickname the Rabbits, with that rabbit in their logo and on their chests on these uniforms, and the carrots raining down onto the ice. But Johnny Ruiz comes down short-handed, and he gets his 23rd goal of the season, which is the most by a hat trick who's playing in tonight's game. Dustin Jasso is scratched tonight. He hasn't played since February 10th. And as far as I know, that is a healthy scratch situation for the Hat Tricks leader in goals and points. But for Ruiz, his second shorthanded goal of the season. Over 100 goals for him in his FPHL career, and just 80 assists in his entire career. It's his second stint with the Danbury Hat Tricks, his third season as a hat trick, fourth overall in the FPHL. He was a first-team All-Star and a Forward of the Year last season for the Hat Tricks, and hired as an assistant coach in October, so player assistant is Johnny Ruiz. Showing his team how it's done, and now the Prowlers' other unit, Foley, Devaney, Johnson, Chartrand, and Stoya, talking things over just inside the blue line. Hat Tricks will send out the new PK unit of Evan Lugo, who was scratched yesterday, Lucas DeBenedette up front with Brendan Dowler and John McDonald on defense. And those are the 9 skaters on the ice right now. Still 3:50 to go on the Prowlers power play, but now they find themselves behind as Stoya sent it down the boards. Chartrand knocked it down, and the Prowlers set up. Work to Devaney. Johnson, the one-timer, knocked down by McClendon. The rebound is there, and finally cleared by Danbury. A good chance there for the Prowlers. Still can't get that rebound. Here's Johnson back in to Foley. Back to Alex Johnson, and that puck was rolling on him. He couldn't get all of it. That's sent right back towards Wyatt Hofflin. 12-12 to go, period 1. 3:08 left on the Prowlers power play after the 5-minute major and game misconduct to Zach Pamelayan. Thackeray trucks Falanga, but the Hat Tricks clear the zone, hops into the Danbury bench. So whistles blow and another break there for the Prowlers as Danbury got a clear, but it hopped into the bench. So the whistle blows and the Prowlers will get a face-off at least on the Danbury half of the ice. And they will say it is outside of the Hat Tricks zone. Dump back to Prowler ice right off the draw. Now here's Austin Federley as his unit's back on the ice. Federley to Graham, backs in, gives to Federley. Pulls up, Thackeray at the point. Dylan Thackeray to Federley, down low Graham. Tried to feed McLean in the bumper spot, blocked by Yao. Thackeray taking the spot of Jason Diamond on this power play unit. McKittrick dumps it all the way down. 2:20 to go on the Prowlers power play. Haven't been able to get too much at the net during it, as it's Graham on the left wing side, couldn't feed the middle of the ice, and right back down goes the puck off the stick of the Sandy Hook, Connecticut native, Evan Lugo. 11 minutes to go, period one, under 2 left in the power play for Port Huron. Johnson back at center. Alex Johnson into the zone. Left it for Foley. Foley sent it all the way to the far side. Stoya steps up. Kept it in for a moment, but DeBenedette trying to find the handle, could not. Stoya takes it away. Matt Stoya on his backhand. Back to Johnson. Now to Devaney. That puck comes out of the zone. 5-minute major for the power play for the Prowlers, and they just haven't been able to get anything going. Still minute 14 left on it as Foley played it off a skate and out. Stoya up to Johnson. He took a hit at the line from McDonald. Gonzalez fanned on the clearing attempt. Stoya didn't know where it was. Now Gonzalez rims it around this side. Devaney able to keep it in. Devaney all the way across looking for Chartrand, goes off his stick. Now Alex Johnson below the goal line. Johnson up high to Devaney, and it gets away from him and out of the zone. 40 seconds left on the 5-minute power play for the Prowlers. Johnson right in, whiffed on the shot. Now Foley steps around his man, back to Johnson. He couldn't get one away. Stoya tripped up, play continues, no arms up in the air. Chartrand leaves it for Foley behind the net. Evan Foley looks back door where Dalton Jay was going, blocked by Yao. Chartrand on the ice with Gonzalez in a wrestling match. Meanwhile, Jay and Yao standing up in the midst of that battle. Amesbury about set to step out onto the ice, so the 5 minutes killed by the Danbury Hat Tricks, and they even get a shorthanded goal out of it. Here's Amesbury putting it on net, saved by Hofflin, and he gathers in the rebound and then leaves it for Matt Stoya. A big missed opportunity there for the Port Huron Prowlers. And not only that, again, they give up a goal. Hofflin leaves it for Brian Parsons. If you missed last night's game, Parsons wearing number 88 this weekend due to a jersey packing mishap. Here's Abdella at the point, wrists it on, blocked down in front, the rebound sits there. Where is it now? Federley finds it, and he skates it out. McClendon blockers away the long-range try. Now Dowler fed it across. The one-touch pass there was blocked away. Here's McLean looking for the bouncing puck. Dowler able to corral it. McLean and Dowler after it. Foley knocks it down with the glove. He's tied up with McKittrick. Now McLean turned it on net, missed it wide. Ratcliffe has a man going. It's Ruiz, but Parsons able to stop up that pass just enough. 7:45 to go, opening period, as it's dumped in on McClendon. He'll cover up for a whistle. Prowlers trail 1-0 despite having a 5-minute power play earlier in the period. Shorthanded goal by Johnny Ruiz, the difference so far. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Danbury, 7:41 to go, first period. That's the Prowlers trailing the Danbury Hat Tricks 1-0. Offensive zone faceoff coming for the Prowlers, and the man that scored last night, Joe Devaney, lining up at right wing. His line alongside Evan Foley and Torrey McLean, and now Devaney makes a liar out of me and takes the faceoff. And he wins it. Here's Stoya walking the line, wrists it on, but that hit Marcheson's stick and flies out of play. So we'll do it again, and we'll see if the usual center in Foley or if it's Devaney. It is Devaney again. And the thought process here is that it's easier to win a faceoff on your backhand, and Devaney being right-handed could win it to Stoya, though he didn't that time. While Evan Foley, Evan Foley is also right-handed, so not exactly sure, but I guess Devaney's stronger on his backhand than Evan Foley. Here's DeBenedette, poked away by Evan Foley. Great two-way player. Evan Foley plays all 200 feet. Torrey McLean power move, saved by McClendon. It sits there at the side of the cage, and Lugo rescues it. Marchison up to Lugo, dancing his way through a couple of Prowlers before it's poked off his stick by Adam Hainsel. McLean gives it up to Stoya. He lost the puck behind the net, and Hofflin had the big pads down to stop a chance there. Devaney dangles his way into the zone. Joe Devaney to the front of the net. Puck sat there for a moment. The Prowlers just couldn't bang it on net. Thackeray gets around Falanga. Fed it up. That hit a stick and flies out of play into the bleachers. So the faceoff will come back. I believe it will be at center, but at that faceoff dot just outside of the Hat Tricks blue line. 6:26 to go in the first period. Stefano and Borshev in on the faceoff. Borshev, one of those Vermilion County refugees after that team went under. Thackeray dumped there by Borshev. Here's Diamond. Jason Diamond fed it across, had nobody there. Now Kuznetsov, long pass out. That one didn't find anybody. Wyatt Hofflin has to play it though with Borshev in on the forecheck. Diamond with Alex Johnson. Diamond put it on, that one deflected high out of play for a whistle. 5:49 left to go in the first period. Currently the shots on goal are different on my monitor and here at the rink. On my screen here it says 9-6 in favor of Danbury. Here at the rink it says 9-7 in favor of Port Huron. You take a guess as to what the real score is on the shots department, but where it matters, it is 1-0 Danbury. Thackeray starting a rush, gives it up to Jay. Jay cross corner dump, Federley on it, and he chips it behind the net. McDonald first one there. He hands to McKittrick, and now it's Ratcliffe turning away, but pushed into the boards by Henning. That puck just came out of the blue line, so offsides as McDonald played it back in. 5:14 left to go in the first period. Not too many chances from either side. Johnny Ruiz has the only goal of the game so far. Both teams getting some pucks on net, but not too terribly many, as it comes to the near side boards. Gonzalez rims it around. Hofflin left it there, gave it away to Marchison, but his pass to the slot cut off by Evan Foley. Devaney couldn't toe dry, comes right back to Devaney. Outside try, hit the side of the cage. Now Marchison out to center. Brian Parsons puts it right back in. 4:45 to go, first period. It's rimmed around, comes to Parsons, winds and fires. That one deflected on the way through, bounces out in front, and Yao plays it to the corner. Henning just couldn't reach that one cleanly. He gets there, though, ahead of Marchison, but turned it over to Benedek. Cuts to the slot, he shoots, he scores! Lucas de Benedek with goals in each game of this series. He makes it 2-0 Danbury. Minnesota native in his first season since 2019-20 when he was in France's third division, now has his 7th goal of the year with the hat tricks in game number 12 as a member of the Danbury Hat Tricks. Diamond dumps it in, 4:20 to go in the period. Prowlers looking for an answer here. Hansel sends it back in. He's dumped by Falanga, and Chartrand blows a tire in the near side corner. Hansel again fed it up, but man he was looking for was Chartrand. He was heading off for a change. Falanga with the puck through center. Gave it up. The dump only got as far as Matt Stoya. Now Federley. His pass to Graham cut off by Kuznetsov. Now Stoya again at center. Matt Stoya into the zone, wrist shot high. Hansel just able to chip it back into the zone. Graham gives to Jay. Knocked off the puck by Amesbury. And Kuznetsov gets it out back to Prowler ice. 3.5 minutes to go in period one. Hansel watched there by Ruiz. He leaves it off for Matt Stoya. Stoya skates up ice. Sauces it on, goes all the way. Icing waved off. Graham got there first. Now puck comes out in front, and Federley was crashing the crease as McClendon covered that puck. A crowd gathers, but nothing further coming. With 3:06 to go in period number one, it's Danbury holding a 2-0 lead on the Port Huron Prowlers. You're watching Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hofflin. The rebound. Another one.
Every hit.
Good hip check.
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut back, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hofflin, and the Prowlers win it!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Back here in Danbury, 2-0. Hat tricks. They lead the Prowlers with 3:06 to go in the first period. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Currently the shots based on the big board here at Danbury Ice Arena, 10-8 in favor of the Prowlers. Online it says 9-7 for the Hat Tricks. So pick which one you'd like to believe. Personally, I'm going with the one here at the arena. Cycle down low towards Foley. And now Ratcliffe. Turned it over to Devaney. Tried to find Foley, couldn't do it. To his side scrum in the corner. Ruiz pulls it out. Now Johnny Ruiz starting a rush up the other way. Ruiz has McKittrick on the right wing side. Back to Ruiz, he scores! Johnny Ruiz with his second of the period opens up a 3-0 lead for Danbury. And the opportunistic Danbury hat trick strike again, as they've been able to take advantage of the Prowlers a couple of times tonight, just as they did last night. Stefano wins that face-off board. McClendon plays it to Abdella. 2.5 minutes to go in the first period, one that the Prowlers would just like to get out of. Abdella around to the far side. It's Marchison. He gives it up to Lugo. Lugo has the man breaking, but he shoots, and a good glove save from Wyatt Hofflin. So the damage stays contained as Wyatt Hofflin able to make another save. Yao back, retreating into his own end. Gives it up to Falanga. Falanga dumps it off the boards, gets it himself. Took a hit there from Parsons. Now here's Falanga. Leaves it off for Yao. Yao up high, Kuznetsov makes a move, shoots, and he scores. And it's Dmitry Kuznetsov extending his point streak to 5 games, making it 4-0 hat tricks. And the Prowlers just need to stop the bleeding with 1:48 left in the first period. Matt Stoya takes it off the draw as Kuznetsov puts up his 19th goal of the season. And a heck of a first period for the Danbury hat tricks. Trying to show that last night's closely played affair was just a fluke. They're enforcing their will on the Prowlers so far in this one. First couple of goals were just opportunistic. And now it's the hat tricks just able to come down and outwork the Prowlers so far. That one icing against Adam Hainsel. He was just a stride away from the red line. So the faceoff will come back into Prowler territory, although they are discussing it. So it is possible that they'll drop the puck at center, and actually they'll decide back in Prowler territory. So icing is the confirmed call. DeBenedette and Graham on the face-off on the near side face-off circle. Comes to Jay, he curls back, head up looking for a pass, and he turned it over to Marchison. Marchison has DeBenedette breaking, couldn't get it there. Dalton Jay steals it back. Stoya works it up to Federley. Federley with speeds. We hit the final minute of the first period. Federley in, and McClendon able to steer that one out of play. 50.3 seconds left in period number 1. A forgettable one for the Port Huron Prowlers. The Foley line steps out against the Borshev line. Faceoff comes to the corner. It's Dowler off the glass and out. And Alex Johnson takes it. Moves up the boards. Devaney tried to leave it off for Foley. Foley was coming on the other side of him, though. They get their signals crossed a bit. Thackeray chasing that one down with half a minute to go in the period. Dylan Thackeray moves it up. Devaney up towards McLean. McLean knocked down by Abdella at center. He's slow to get up. Meanwhile, it's Dowler. He goes off the glass and out. Johnson loves it, but he turned it right over to Borshev. Igor Borshev all the way across to Kuznetsov. Outside shot, stopped by Hofflin. 3.2 seconds left in the period. And it looks like the net has come off behind Wyatt Hofflin, so they'll adjust that. In the final seconds of period number 1, 4-0 in favor of the Danbury Hat Tricks. Foley and Borshev on this important face-off, and it's one back by Foley. Johnson will eat it, and that's going to do it for a tough first period for the Port Huron Prowlers as they trail the Danbury Hat Tricks 4-0 through one period of play. Shots on goal on the big board here in Danbury, 12 for the Hat Tricks, 10 for the Port Huron Prowlers. And it is a 4-0 lead for Danbury through one period of play. We'll see what kind of changes the Prowlers come out of the locker room with as they attempt to climb the mountain over the next 40 minutes and get themselves back in this game. Well, the playoff push is on, so make sure you look your best as you cheer on your Prowlers. Located on the west end of McMorran Arena, the Prowlers official team store is open every home game all season long, featuring t-shirts, sweatshirts, including new styles, koozies, and more. Authentic and youth jerseys are also available while supplies last. Rep your team in style with gear from the Prowlers team store. Prowlers will talk it out in the locker room. We'll see what they come back with in just about 15 minutes. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Back here in Danbury, the Prowlers trailing the Hat-Tricks 4-0 as we get sets for the second period of play. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Shots on goal in that opening period, well, depends on who you ask. If you ask the people operating the scoreboard here at Danbury Ice Arena, shots are 12-10 Hat-Tricks, but if you ask the people running the live stats online, then the shots are 16-7 Danbury, and sure Wyatt Hofflin, for his stats purposes, would take that 16 shots over the 12, but either way for him, a rough period as he gives up 4 goals. And again, the shots different on the live stats here. They did add 4 shots for Danbury after the horn sounded and the period expired. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but either way, it's a 4-0 Hat-Tricks lead as they get 2 goals from their captain, Johnny Ruiz, the first one shorthanded. And then also goals from Lucas DeBenedette and Dmitry Kuznetsov. Prowlers had a 5-minute power play after Zach Pamelayan got a game misconduct for slashing. A 5 in a game for slashing for Zach Pamelayan. And that came just about 6 minutes into the hockey game, and Prowlers had a great opportunity to jump out to the lead, get on the board first, but Johnny Ruiz got the shorthanded goal, and then everything just came crashing down for the Port Huron Prowlers through the rest of that period. They were down 2-0 with under 5 to play, and in a position where they were just trying to get it to the horn. Danbury just poured it on, getting 2 more within the final 3.5 minutes. So the Prowlers taking the ice, and Wyatt Hofflin is sliding into the goal 2 hour left. So he does continue for Port Huron after, again, depending on who you ask. We go by the live stats here on the website. He made 12 saves on 16 shots. Frankie McClendon getting into the crease on our right. Either way, he was perfect in that first period, whether he made 10 saves, as it says here at Danbury Ice Arena, or 7, as it says on our live stats. Again, those two are disagreeing as of right now. 3 other games in the FBHL, and before we get to the face-off, let's take a look at the scores around the league. We start in Fraser, where the Motor City Rockers have a 2-1 lead on the Elmira Mammoth early in the second period. Remember, the Rockers are just 1 point back of the Prowlers for 3rd place in the Continental Division. The Watertown Wolves have a 2-1 lead on the Delaware Thunder in Delaware, and the Carolina Thunderbirds a 2-1 lead on the Binghamton Black Bears. All 3 of those games early on in the second period. Here we're about to start the second period, and it's Stefano and Ruiz on the face-off. We are underway. Abdello rims it all the way around. And it's Ratcliffe in there battling with Hainzel. Chartrand chips it out. Diamond chasing it down with Abdella. Abdella muscles off Diamond. Ruiz in there to take the puck. Now Hainzel tries to throw a hit on Ratcliffe. Puck back out to center, 30 seconds into period 2. Stoya up to Stefano. Stefano sauces it back to Adam Hainzel. Now up to Matt Stoya. Stoya curls away from McKittrick. He leaves it for Hainzel. Now a cross-ice pass comes to Stefano. He deflects it in. But he was just a step short of the red line, so icing is called, although they're going to discuss it, and the referee is indicating that the Prowlers can change. Actually, no, he's not. He's just sending Adam Hainzel back out onto the ice. My apologies. So Soya off the draw, up the boards. Chartrand able to chop it out. Yao gloves it down. Sauces it to the near side. Hat-trick's back in. DeBenedette towards the net. Lugo was covered heavily there by Chartrand. Yao couldn't handle it at the line, so he rims it all the way deep. Marchison didn't seem to know that his team was offsides as he went after that puck, but he didn't touch it. Prowlers able to get it out. Foley dumps it in. Dowler first on it. Gives up to Marchison. Had an 8-game point streak snapped last night, did Michael Marchison. And now it's the Prowlers who are offside at the hat-tricks line. 18:24 to go, second period. As the face-off is coming to the far side and just outside of the Danbury blue line. Foley line against the Borshev line. Puck lay there for a moment, and Michael Falanga swoops in to take it. Falanga deflects it in. Parsons chasing it down. Falanga with a big hit there on Brian Parsons. Foley moving up ice, gives to Devaney. That one dumped in deep, icing waved off. McLean and Gonzalez get there together, and Gonzalez takes a hit from Foley. Kuznetsov works his way up ice. Parsons takes it back in his own end. 17:40 to go, second period, as John McDonald has it. His pass deflected in by Ruiz. Hofflin out of his net to play it. Turned it over behind the net almost to McKittrick. McKittrick and Parsons battling for it in the corner. A little bit extra pushing and shoving between Parsons and McKittrick after the puck left, but that settles down. Meanwhile, the puck is deep in hat-trick's territory. McKittrick works up the left wing side, gives to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe head up, all the way over to Dowler, wrists it on, and a save by Hofflin. And he'll hang on for a whistle. 17:02 to go in period 2. So it's the Graham line out there for the Prowlers, going up against Johnny Ruiz's line. And one forward by Ruiz. He's looking for the hat trick. Prowlers yet to have a hat trick this season. As Graham toe drags in, backhanded it just wide. Jay put it back out in front. Johnson wristed it on, and that one deflected down. Matt Graham found himself all alone in front of Frankie McClendon, but just backhanded it past the post. Federley able to take that bouncing puck, enters the zone all the way across behind Dalton Jay. Thackeray on it. Dylan Thackeray head up to Johnson. Wrist shot deflected on net, and the puck sat there for a moment before it's taken out by Ratcliffe. Good play there by Austin Federley just to shovel that one on goal. Diamond works back in. Yao poked it off his stick. Now Jared Yao around to McDonald. Thackeray back in his own end. D to D to Adam Hainsel. Stefano had his stick lifted. Now Stefano and Lugo go in together. Meanwhile, it's DeBenedette back in. But Lugo, who was upended, was still in the zone, so offsides the call against Danbury. 15:49 to go, second period. Still 4-0 Danbury. All 4 goals for the hat-tricks coming back in the first period. Stefano and Borshev on the face-off. And it's one back to hat-tricks ice. Abdella keeps it away from Diamond. Dowler around the boards to Amesbury. Caught in the skates of Borshev. And then Borshev almost overskated the puck, but he's able to get it deep. Hainsel and Falanga after it. Hainsel tried to rim it around towards Chartrand. Borshev played it off of Amesbury's skate, and that puck just skittered wide. Stoya up to Hainsel. Foley pokes it out to center. Penalty coming up against the Prowlers as Stoya knocked Falanga down behind the play, and now Stoya and Falanga getting into it. They're being restrained. Now Daniel Amesbury comes flying in. You know, Amesbury has no worries about getting into a fight. He reaches over, gives Stoya a couple of tugs on the shoulder. Amesbury will be escorted to his bench. And Matt Stoya heading over to the penalty box. So the Hat-Tricks will go to the man advantage with 15-14 to go in period number 2. Hat-Tricks power play got a couple of goals last night. Ranked now 8th in the FPHL at 15.1%. And the Prowlers PK sitting still in 9th, 77.5%. It's going to be Chartrand, Foley, Henning, and Parsons on the PK for the Prowlers. Amesbury chatting with the Prowlers bench. And now Alex Johnson and Daniel Amesbury have been sent to the penalty boxes. And both teams starting to rack up penalties. Johnson and Amesbury still barking as they sit there in the sin bins. Stoya joining in on the chats. That one won't affect on his manpower. As the Prowlers still 5-on-4. As they get the PK out for the first time tonight. Ruiz, Marchison, McDonald, McKittrick, and Gonzalez out there for Danbury. McDonald had a power play goal last night. Parsons had his clearing attempt blocked. Here is McDonald to Gonzalez. Left it for Ruiz. Back to Gonzalez. Ruiz again, the one-timer. Whistled it wide. Marchison behind the net. Looking for McKittrick. Gets it to him. And now Ruiz to Marchison. Give and go. And saved by Hofflin. The rebound heads to the corner. Marchison up to McDonald. Prowlers about to get another penalty as Gonzalez whiffed on the one-timer. Henning takes control, and it's Brian Parsons heading to the penalty box after he got into it a little bit with Michael Marchison behind the net. That one was away from the play, so Parsons will head to the penalty box. And the Prowlers will be down 2 men with 1:17 to go on Stoya's penalty and 14:31 left in the period. We will take a timeout though before Parsons' penalty begins. 14:31 to go, second period. Prowlers down by 4. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here in Danbury, a 5-on-3 about to start for the Hat-Tricks for 1:17. That's what's remaining on Matt Stoya's penalty. Stoya still having some words with Amesbury in the penalty box, but 3 Prowlers in there to 1 Hat-Trick. They send out Matt Graham, Austin Federley, and Adam Hainsel. 2 defensemen in the box, so expect Austin Federley to play a bit of a defensive position, although call me a liar here as Federley heads out to the top of the triangle. Ratcliffe over to Yao, down to DeBenedette. Up high Ratcliffe, he fires off of Federley's stick. Kuznetsov able to keep it going. Down to DeBenedette. Up high Ratcliffe, walks in, poked off his stick neatly there by Matt Graham. Borshev. DeBenedette settles the puck down. DeBenedette walks up to the top of the circle. His pass off of Graham and out to center. 13:54 to go, second period. DeBenedette finds that puck off the far boards. Kuznetsov walks to the middle. Kuznetsov rips it, he scores. And they're pointing to the man standing in front. That was Igor Borshev. He may have gotten a touch on it. Either way, a power play goal for Danbury makes it a 5-0 game. They immediately pointed to Igor Borshev, who was screening Wyatt Hofflin. And if it is indeed Borshev's goal, it's his third of the season, second on the power play. There's John McDonald giving it over to Ruiz. Still a 5-on-4 man advantage for another 59 seconds for Danbury. As McKittrick trying to get things set up, he works it to McDonald. McDonald risks it on, knocked down by Hofflin. Rebound taken by Henning. Ruiz able to stop it at the point. Gonzalez winds, fires just wide. Ruiz kept it in, he shoots, and he scores. And there's the hat trick for Johnny Ruiz. 6-0 Danbury. So Johnny Ruiz returned in last night's game after missing a significant stretch, and now we have a goaltending change as Danik Rodrigue steps off the bench and heads into the net to our left. The hat's still flying here at Danbury Ice Arena. .13:11 to go, second period. As Borshev gets set to draw with Stefano. And the face-off won back by the hat-tricks. As Johnny Ruiz has half of the 6 for Danbury so far in this one. Falenga gives it to Yao. To the slot, one more, maybe too many passes. Rodrigue able to clear it away. Now Stefano starting to rush back up. Stefano to Chartrand, looking back for Stefano. That one wouldn't work. Diamond up to Johnson, put it on, and Chartrand just tipped it out of play. 12:38 to go, second period. Officially right now, it's Dmitry Kuznetsov's goal. We'll see if that ends up changing. That was the one that we thought might have been Borshev's, the 5th goal. Of course, no question that 6th goal belongs to Johnny Ruiz. DeBenedette off the boards and in. Thackeray. Now Johnson. Federley gets it to Jay. Jay has Graham with him, sauces it that way. Graham catches up to it and pokes it right through the crease. Dowler dumps it in. Rodrigue keeps it away from the oncoming McKittrick. Here is McKittrick stepping out, and he raised that one too high. Dowler all the way around. Jay got it out, and here's Dowler again. Dowler sends it up, it's deflected in. Now Alex Johnson takes it behind the net, up to Federley. Off the glass and out. It's gloved down there by Gonzalez. Now up to Ruiz. His pass missed Ratcliffe. Thackeray back up the boards. Ruiz tried a couple of moves, stuck there in Evan Foley's skates. Now Thackeray able to get it out, just out of the reach of Joe Devaney though. Abdella up out of the zone. Ruiz sends Ratcliffe on his way. Ratcliffe into Prowler territory, drops to McKittrick, winds and fires, block it away by Rodrigue. Now Gonzalez thought about the shot, instead gives it off to Abdella. Xavier Abdella weaving his way down low. Took a hit there from Hainzel, and then Hainzel finishes his check. Gonzalez dumps it back into Prowler territory. 10:48 to go, second period. Thackeray off the boards all the way down. McLean chasing after, but Yao wins the race, and icing is called. Officially Johnny Ruiz's third goal of the game, assisted by Kyle Gonzalez. It's a stat night for the hat tricks. Ruiz has the hat trick, DeBenedette and Kuznetsov a couple of points each. Kuznetsov has 2 goals, and DeBenedette goal and an assist. Played out to center where Yao has it. He rims it in. Kuznetsov poked it around towards Hainzel. Now McLean sauces it deep. Here's Foley. Took a hard hit there from McDonald. Puck poked out. Hainzel on it. Tried to leave it for Stoya. Neither of them ended up picking up the puck. And the hat trick's able to clear the zone. Hops over Hainzel's stick. Here's Kuznetsov with 2. He shoots. Good save by Rodrigue. Devaney, long pass up. Cut off there by Gonzalez. And Gonzalez gives to McDonald. Up to Kuznetsov. Stoya kicked it right to DeBenedette. And DeBenedette dangles through Stoya, looking for a play to the center. And the Prowlers able to work it out. Dan Chartrand dumps it in, chases after it, along with Stefano. 4 players coming there together. Delayed penalty coming against Danbury. Stoya rips one, and it's held on to by McClendon for a whistle. Prowlers power play coming when we return with 9:23 to go in period number 2. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers power play coming up. It's Xavier Abdella heading to the penalty box. 2 minutes for interference. Prowlers did go over on a 5-minute power play earlier in the game. So that was a tough one to start the game. And of course, Johnny Ruiz got the scoring started during that Prowlers power play. That was a shorthanded goal for him. First of his 3 so far tonight. As we have some repairs going on, there's a door on the far side in the Prowlers zone that they're looking at right now. You can't see it on your screen, and unfortunately, I'm not the one controlling the camera tonight, as we again appreciate the hard work of the crew here at Danbury Ice Arena, allowing us to use their cameras for our broadcast. 9:23 to go, second period. As Ruiz and Matt Graham settle in for the faceoff. It's Graham, McLean, Jay, Federley, and Dylan Thackeray on this power play unit. Faceoff one back by Ruiz. Dowler rims it all the way around and down the ice. Federley starts it there. Austin Federley feeds it over to Thackeray. Thackeray pauses in the zone. Over to Federley, back to Thackeray. He walks in, a little shimmy shake, still has the puck. Now it's poked off his stick. He just gets it deep, rimmed all the way around. Federley just keeps it alive for the Prowlers, spins away from a hit from Dowler. But Graham tried to send it back to the point, and Thackeray has to go collect it. Matt Graham frustrated with that pass. Federley into the zone, off the glass behind the net. Graham chopped it out in front. Now Jay with it, to the point Thackeray. Over to Federley. Halfway through the power play, Graham all the way across. Jay couldn't load the cannon. McLean up high to Thackeray, walks the line. Nice move, gets in, shoots, and a save by McClendon. Rimmed back around towards Jay, 44 seconds left on the power play. Thackeray steps in, gives to Graham, one touch in front, McLean there, and McClendon stoned him on the doorstep. 30 seconds left on the man advantage as the Prowlers switch up the unit. It's Stoya. That's Stoya over to Foley. Foley into the zone. He had it taken away by Dowler, who's been there seemingly the entirety of this penalty kill. And he'll stay there for the final 10 seconds of it. Abdella set to come out of the box as Johnson stopped up there at center. Abdella, right out of the penalty box, causes the turnover. Here's Borshev. Igor Borshev tried to center. Second chance opportunity does. Puck floats behind the net. Chartrand, long lead pass looking for Devity. Got through him, but McClendon out to play it. He gives it over to Brendan Dowler. He's at the end of a long shift. Of course, the period of the long change here in the second. And Dowler still unable to get off the ice. Devaney back in. Joe Devaney just lost the handle. Hat tricks the other way. It's Kuznetsov, outside try, held onto by Danik Rodrigue for a whistle. 6:39 to go in period number 2. Frankie McClendon coming up with a few saves, and that keeps the Prowlers off the scoreboard. Still 6-0, Danbury. Bit of a line change out here after the power play. Torrey McLean lining up with Diamond and Stefano. And now Amesbury out there as well. And we'll see, yes, we will get a fight, but it's not McLean, it's Dustin Henning going with Daniel Amesbury. Amesbury, the Ice Wars heavyweight champion, against the veteran Dustin Henning. This is what the fans have been waiting for as they lock up. Amesbury trying to get some rights in. Henning with a good one. Now Amesbury throwing away. Henning now responding with some lefts. Now Henning and Amesbury absolutely wrapping out those rights. Amesbury with an uppercut. They both go down with Henning's jersey over his head. And a good show from Dustin Henning and Daniel Amesbury as they head to the penalty boxes. Both guys got in some good shots there during that fight. At one point, it was just open fire as both guys just throwing punches as quickly as they could. It ended up with Henning with his jersey over his head, falling on top of Amesbury. And the captain answering the call for the Port Huron Prowlers, and we'll see if this gets any energy injected into this group. As I was saying before that fight, it was McLean out here with Stefano and Diamond. And just for fun, that fight does get Daniel Amesbury to exactly 200 penalty minutes on the season. This is game number 18 for Amesbury on the year, so do the math as he's averaging over 5 penalty minutes per game, if I'm doing that math correctly. Yes, he's averaging over 5 penalty minutes per game. is Daniel Amesbury. That was an icing against the Prowlers, by the way, as Abdella tried to send it deep. Parsons poked it away. To Benedette, kept it away from Stoya. McLean in there, Stoya kicks it along. 3 Prowlers digging away at the puck. It's worked back to the near side, Parsons after it. Diamond able to find it, got it to center, but Abdella picks it off, moves back in. Puck knocked down to Benedette, floated it down low, couldn't find Marchison. Now off the glass, here's Diamond. Had it poked off his stick. Gonzalez off the back wall to Yao. Yao to Marchison. Now to Benedette. Drops it back to Gonzalez. 5.5 minutes to go, second period. As Matt Stoya cut off a pass. He starts the rush. Here's Stoya. Rips one on. It's blocked partially by Yao. Graham collects it in the corner. Up high, Federley. He shoots. Blockered away by McClendon. Gonzalez to Yao. Now off the boards up to Falanga. Falanga with some space. Curling away from Federley. Sauces it all the way across. Yao walks in, shoots, and a good save by Rodrigue. The rebound almost put back in front. Instead, it's rimmed around to the near side. Falanga able to keep it deep. Borshev looking back to Falanga all by himself. Good save by Rodrigue. Danik Rodrigue with a couple of good ones on that shift. And now Borshev kicked Rodrigue's stick. He knocks down Matt Graham as they were going to drop the mitts. Instead, he just knocked him down. And now a scuffle ensuing, a big brouhaha over in front of the penalty box where Daniel Amesbury is. And this all started because Igor Borshev, on his way up the ice, kicked Danik Rodrigue's stick, which was loose in the face-off circle after Rodrigue lost it on a diving poke check. McDonald and Chartrand having some words, the referees in between them with his arm up, and now Yao with plenty of chirps for the Prowlers as Matt Graham and Igor Borshev go and take seats. We will take a timeout. Just want to make sure everything is done before we do so. And it does seem to be finished, so we'll take a timeout as they figure this one out with 4:39 to go in period 2. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
Every hit.
Good hip check.
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut back, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
The fists are flying here in Danbury. 4:39 to go, second period. And the referees explaining to Danbury captain Johnny Ruiz and Port Huron captain, assistant captain Austin Federley, what will be the deal with Matt Graham and Igor Borshev. And the penalty box door opening for Matt Graham. Of course, he is the head coach, so he's allowed to talk to the referees. And that's exactly what he's doing. Graham was angry that the stick came loose from Rodrigue as he was going for a poke check, and now Matt Graham is being escorted off the ice. I believe he's been kicked out as he heads to the locker room. And we'll see if Igor Borshev goes the same way. He will. So Borshev and Graham both heading off the ice. So the Prowlers and the Hat-Tricks each lose a man out of that one. Hat-Tricks do have an extra man in the penalty box over there. I can't tell who that is. I want to say it's a 15, and that's Evan Lugo. I'm not 100% sure. Torrey McLean heading to the box as well. So I assume both Borshev and Graham are getting 2 and 10s and tossed, possibly tossed from the game or just tossed from the period, we shall see. But 4-on-4 action is now what we have for the next 2 minutes. Parsons turned it over. Ruiz steps around his man, but good poke check there from Rodrigue to keep it away from Johnny Ruiz, searching for his 4th goal of the night. Thackeray moves up ice. Taken away by McKittrick. Has Ruiz, gives it to him. He shoots off of Parsons, sticking high. Now Joe Devaney starts the engines. Has Foley with him. Couldn't get it to him. And now Marchison fresh off the bench. Michael Marchison outside try. Stopped by Rodrigue. Devaney turns it back up to Foley. Foley off the boards and in. Abdella up to Marchison. So they just announced the penalties here. A 2 and 10 to each. Borshev and Graham officially. So I believe that means we should see them both coming back for the 3rd period. Of course, they'll have to start the period in the penalty box. That one, long sauce comes up to Dalton Jay. Cuts to the middle. Jay shoots and a save by McClendon. Rebound cleared out. Stoya took it away at the Hat-Trick's blue line, but McDonald able to get it out to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov shoots, save by Rodrigue. He has it, and he'll hang on for a whistle with 3 minutes and 4 seconds to go in period number 2. 25 seconds left in the 4-on-4. As the Prowlers have Stefano and Jay up front with Hainzel and Stoya. Here's Kuznetsov to the point to Yao. Yao back to Kuznetsov. Couldn't handle it cleanly for the one-timer, and Jay turns it the other way. Dalton Jay working on McDonald. Tried to float it to the net, knocked down by Stoya. And they'll say he knocked it down with a high stick, so the whistle blows with 2:49 left to go in the 2nd period. Torrey McLean, and I have confirmed it is Evan Lugo, the one serving the penalty for Igor Borshev. Shorthanded and Ruiz. So McLean and Lugo getting set to come out in 5 seconds. Meanwhile, here's Hainzel getting the puck deep. Dowler around towards Ratcliffe. Tymont went back for that puck, and he all of a sudden ran into 2 players, one on his team, one on the other, as they just stepped out of the box. Hainzel in there, 3 Prowlers and 2 Hat-Tricks digging at that puck. McLean has it behind the cage, taken away from him by Gonzalez. Sent out back to the Prowlers zone. Hainzel. His pass didn't work. It's dropped off to Ruiz. He shoots and he scores. Make it 4 in the game for the Hat-Tricks captain, Johnny Ruiz, and Danbury with a 7-0 lead. So Johnny Ruiz now passes Dustin Gesso for the most goals on the Danbury Hat-Tricks. He came in with 22, now up to 26 this season. And as far back as I can tell, it seems to be Johnny Ruiz's first 4-goal game. But I cannot confirm that. It is certainly his first 4-goal game in quite a while. Minute 59 to go in the 2nd period. Things have gone from bad to worse for the Port Huron Prowlers. as that puck goes all the way down for an icing. Minute 52 up on the clock. It's 7-0 Hat-Tricks. Stefano tried to chop it to the net off the draw. Now here's Abdella to Yao. Yao sends it up the boards. Thackeray up to Federley. So Stefano centering this line with Federley and Dalton J. Comes over to Marchesson. Marchesson turns the corner. Thackeray poked it away. Marchesson has it back. De Benedette had it chopped away from him. Now Parsons. Up to Federley. Austin Federley. Cross-ice pass finds Dalton J. Sauces it over to Stefano. He pulls up in the zone. Demetrius Stefano all the way across to Chartrand. Up high it comes to Alex Johnson. Over to Parsons. He shoots. Saved by McClendon. The rebound cleared away by Falangas. We're under a minute to go in this period, and Alex Johnson just blew up a player in front of the Danbury bench, and now things are getting physical again. Falanga right in Johnson's face. The trainer coming out for that hat trick, who I can't tell right now is who's down in front of the Prowlers bench. Parsons trying to wrestle Falanga off of Alex Johnson. Referee has his arm up. And we'll see what the penalties are. Alex Johnson being pushed over to his bench. And now Falanga wants a piece of Alex Johnson. Falanga's dropped his mitts and his helmet. Alex Johnson has been sent off to the locker room. So both Prowlers coaches are in the locker room right now. Matt Graham and Alex Johnson. We still have another 20 minutes to play here after the last 46.4 seconds of this third period. And now I can see it's John McDonald, the one standing back up, and he skates off to the locker room. Falanga is over in the penalty box. And now Michael Falanga will exit the game. It's all breaking loose here in Danbury in a rout. 7-0 for the Hat-Tricks. And it all started with the big hit by Alex Johnson. And now we sit and wait for the referee's rulings. Johnny Ruiz, Austin Federley over discussing, finding out exactly what the calls are going to be. And we're just trying to get out of the second period here. Again, one of the tougher games for the Prowlers this season, and that's putting it very, very lightly. To say it's one of the tougher games of the season for the Prowlers, as they trail by a touchdown. Johnson is getting 5 minutes. Falanga has 2 up on the board. So if that all stays, it looks like it will. It's going to be a 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, followed by 5-on-4 for the Hat-Tricks for 3 minutes. Nobody is in either penalty box, which is strange because I believe the Hat-Tricks, well, the Hat-Tricks will have a man there when the third period starts, of course, because Falanga wouldn't have come out by the time this period ended anyway. Joe Devaney chasing down this puck with Abdella. And now Foley. Evan Foley below the goal line, comes out high. Parsons shoots and just missed it wide. Gonzalez settles the puck down with 14 seconds to go in the period. Parsons quickly up to Dalton Jay. Jay speeds in with 8. Jay with outside shot saved by McClendon, cleared away by Abdella, all the way down with 1 second. And that's going to do it for the second period of play. Things going from bad to worse for the Port Huron Prowlers as they trail 7-0 with another 20 minutes to go in this one. Shots on goal in that period. We can't exactly officially on the website here on my screen. It says 25-14 in favor of the Hat-Tricks for the game. 9-7 Danbury in the period. That's what it says here on my screen. We'll let you know if anything changes during this intermission. What won't change during this intermission is the score, which reads 7-0 for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they take on the Elmira Mammoth on Friday, March 10th, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by calling the box office at 810-985-6166. That's phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166. We head to the second intermission in a 7-goal game. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. 20 minutes to go here in Danbury, and the Port Huron Prowlers trail the Hat Tricks 7-0. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks so much for sticking with us all night long as the Prowlers just having one of those games, one of their tougher games of the season. And insert whatever word you would like to in place of the word tough as far as this game is going. But the Prowlers trail it 7-0. They're being outshot currently officially on the live stats here, 22-14. After a second period that featured 3 more hat tricks goals, and it's been the Johnny Ruiz show offensively as he scored his 100th goal as a Danbury hat trick in tonight's game. That was the 4th one, and that was also his 26th of the year. That takes the lead in for the hat tricks this season, and it's also his 110th of his FPHL career. He had 10 with the Elmira Enforcers when he played with them. He's also become the first player in hat tricks history to have a 4-goal game. So the captain, Johnny Ruiz, for the Danbury Hat Tricks, getting his name all over the record books tonight. Prowlers, meanwhile, are trying to avoid being shut out for the 3rd time this season. And if they are indeed shut out, it would be all 3 within a month's span, as the first shutout this year came by way of Brendan Colgan in Columbus, and that was back in January, late January. I believe it was the 27th or the 28th, one of those 2 games. I believe the 27th of January. So 3 shutouts within a month would be or what the Prowlers are staring down if they cannot pick up a goal in this 3rd period. Matt Graham and Tori McLean heading to the penalty boxes, as are Igor Borshev and Michael Falanga, so none of them have been thrown out. Matt Stoya also heading over there. So Graham and Borshev were not thrown out. Neither was Falanga. So just some updates on player availability. Alex Johnson was confirmed to be ejected from this game after he received a 5-minute major for boarding. But Matt Graham, Michael Falanga are all good. So is Igor Borshev, and they will step out of the penalty boxes at some point in this 3rd period. As Joe Testa and Chris Montalvo, the referees tonight, have had plenty of work to do, as have the linesmen Michael Imperio and Marty Heiser. They've been involved trying to separate these teams a number of times, and right now they're trying to figure out just exactly how much time to put up on the clock for all of the penalties. Who goes up, who doesn't, we shall see. It is still 4-on-4. Prowlers have Stefano and Diamond up front, the 2 Western New England University grads who came to the Prowlers last night and played their pro debuts after their college season was ended this past Wednesday. Adam Hainsel and Matt Stoya will be on defense. Meanwhile, for Danbury, it's Johnny Ruiz and Daniel McKittrick up front, with Gonzalez and Abdella on defense. 20 minutes up for the 3rd period. No penalties have been put up on the board as of yet, and that's what they're waiting for. That's why we haven't dropped the puck quite yet. And we will see in just a moment. Now they have 1:13 up for Michael Falanga. 4 minutes and 13 seconds, of course, on Alex Johnson's penalty. That's why Tori McLean is in the penalty box for the Prowlers. He is serving Alex Johnson's penalty. Finally, We are back in, and Ruiz looking for goal number 5. Skied it out of play off of Matt Stoya's stick, and just 5 seconds into period 3, we have our first whistle. There's still some work being done on the clock, but it seems to be all set to go. So 4-on-4 for the next minute and 9 seconds, and then 3 full minutes of a Hat Tricks power play with a chance for them to extend a lead that's already at 7 goals. Stoya poked it out to center. It's Diamond trying to step around McKittrick. And now sent back in. Rodriguez stops and leaves it for Matt Stoya. He steps out to his right. Feeds Hansel on his left. Hansel up to Diamond. Took a hit from Yao as he received that pass. Now DeBenedette gets around Stoya. DeBenedette to the net. Couldn't get a good shot away. And Rodriguez able to keep it out. Good back pressure there from Stoya and Stefano. Yao down low. DeBenedette, good save by Rodriguez. That was very similar to DeBenedette's goal last night. The power play goal that opened the scoring. Prowlers have a delayed penalty. As the Hat Tricks are offsides, the call will come. Interference is what they are signaling, and Matt Stoya is the one heading back to the penalty box. But Danik Rodriguez able to stop Lucas DeBenedette that time. Again, a very similar play to DeBenedette's goal in last night's game. So it'll be 4-on-3 for the next 15 seconds, and then 5-on-3 for 2 full minutes, and then 5-on-4 for 1 minute, I believe. Jacob Ratcliffe went over to the penalty box. I'm not sure why. Now Ratcliffe is being escorted into the box. Again, not sure why Jacob Ratcliffe has been sent in. It might be because Falanga picked up a 2 and 10. So Ratcliffe is there to serve the last 15 seconds of the 2. Boy, that could have gotten chaotic if they didn't remember that, and Falanga came out and he still had time on his penalty. But Ratcliffe will serve the last 15 seconds of Falanga's penalty. Meanwhile, it comes back to Gonzalez on the 4-on-3, 10 seconds away from a 5-on-3 for Danbury. Gonzalez walks in, feeds down low to McDonald. Up high, Gonzalez. McDonald again, walks back door. Good save by Rodriguez as he robbed McKittrick on the back door. Gonzalez leaves it for Ruiz. And now in a 5-on-3 for Danbury for another minute and 25 seconds. Gonzalez looking for a tip, couldn't find one. Comes back to Ruiz. Feeds down low to McKittrick. Back to Ruiz. Up high, Gonzalez. Feeds it down low to Marchison. Gonzalez over to Ruiz. The one-timer deflected wide. Rodriguez may have gotten a piece. Gonzalez switches spots with Ruiz, gives it to him. Ruiz down to Marchison, put it on net, and Rodriguez has it in the glove, and he'll hang on. 56 seconds left on the 5-on-3, 2:11 left in the other penalty, and Evan Foley having some words with John McDonald near the crease. Everyone cleared away now, and we'll have another face-off to Danik Rodriguez left. And now they're pointing to someone on the Hat Tricks bench. I believe it's McDonald. McDonald has his arms up. And Ruiz is going over there to figure things out, but John McDonald, as he was heading back to the bench, was whistled by the referee and pointed to the box. I assume it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for something that McDonald said. Of course, that's something that we'll never know. Johnny Ruiz is hot right now at the referees as he's unhappy with that call. Of course, a similar thing happened last night. We have back to 4-on-3. Billy McCreary ended up getting thrown out after long discussions with the referee, and Johnny Ruiz was hot during that entire transaction. And that all stemmed from some chirping between the benches after a TV timeout yesterday. Kick save there from Rodrigue. Here's Kuznetsov. Again, 4-on-3 now for another 30 seconds. Then it'll be 4-on-4 and then 5-on-4 Danbury after that. Here's Yao. Yao walks in, shoots. That one goes high. Thackeray just able to get it out. And the Prowlers get one killer off. Dustin Henning steps onto the ice. Meanwhile, here's Ratcliffe in. Stoya just about set to come out of the box as Dustin Henning clears it down. So now we're at 4-on-4 for another minute, and then it will be 10 seconds of 5-on-4 Danbury power play time as Kuznetsov's shot. Good save by Rodrigue doing the splits. Rodrigue, a very athletic goaltender, has shown it off in his time so far tonight in between the pipes. Gonzalez leaves it off for Abdella and now feeds it up. It's Evan Lugo in with Marchison. Lugo just lost the handle. Henning took it away. Jay rims it around in Federley's direction. Now Marchison gets it back deep, chases after it himself. Henning sends it out towards Jay. Couldn't corral the bouncing puck, and Dowler leaves it back in his own end. Xavier Abdella scoops it up 5 seconds away from 5-on-4 Danbury. That's what we have now for another 10 seconds, with Torrey McLean set to come out of the box, serving Alex Johnson's penalty as Lugo wristed one on, in and out of the glove of Rodrigue, and Stoya has it back. We're back to 5-on-5 as Torrey McLean is out of the box. So the only players still in there, we have Falanga, Borshev, and Graham in their respective penalty boxes. And none of those penalties affecting on-ice manpower. Parsons fed it back to the far side. Stoya up towards McLean. Looks like he didn't get a touch on it, so icing is called against the Prowlers with 15-17 to go in the third period. So faceoff will come back to Prowler ice. Dylan Thackeray being told he needs to step back onto the bench. Right now, Prowlers have Foley, McLean, and Devaney, which is a full line. Not something you might expect after McLean just stepped out of the penalty box and we had an icing in the Prowlers, so the Prowlers couldn't change, but they do have a full forward line. That pass from Stoya went into space. Luckily for the Prowlers, shot came in and was blocked. Bounced in on McClendon. He steers it to the corner. Gonzalez reverses to McDonald. John McDonald up looking for McKittrick. Instead, it's turned back by the Prowlers. Devaney reverses to Stefano. Stefano is Thackeray going to the net. He shoots off the post. Thackeray right there on the puck, just couldn't bat it home. Stoya wrists it on, blocked by McDonald. And then Diamond picks it off. Diamond down low, just put it wide. Had McLean going to net. Another shot from Stoya from the outside, stopped by McClendon. Thackeray keeps it in. Thackeray couldn't step by Ratcliffe. And Gonzalez able to get it out all the way down, but icing not called against the hat-tricks. As they say, Stoya just lowered the gear too much and didn't make a real attempt at that puck. I think he could have gotten there. Hainsel off the bench. Keeps it going forward for his team. And now Yao, D-to-D to Abdella. 13:49 to go, third period. Prowlers got a little bit of pressure there, but not enough to get past Frankie McClendon. As Hainsel's pass goes off a stick, so icing waved off. Yao rims it all the way down. And this one also will not be icing, so the referee's just trying to keep things moving here in a 7-0 game. Abdella D to D to Dowler. Drops back to Abdullah again. His pass fanned on it. Dustin Henning swoops in to intercept. Henning sent it to the middle of the ice. Goes off of Dowler. Jay around to this side to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov had it batted off his stick. Amesbury dumps it in. Amesbury gets it himself. Couldn't center. Couple of Prowlers on him in the corner. Meanwhile, comes to the point to Gonzalez. Gonzalez tried to step around his man. Poked it further. Hansel couldn't get it out. Kuznetsov's outside shot. Stopped by Rodriguez. Now Hansel and Amesbury going after each other. Amesbury has the gloves off. I don't think Hansel does not. Hansel still holding his stick. Amesbury, as I'm sure is a natural reaction for him, just immediately threw his gloves off at the first sign of confrontation. Adam Hansel did not want to throw hands. He's still holding his stick, has both gloves in his hands, but he is chirping at Daniel Amesbury. Amesbury and Hansel both being escorted to the penalty boxes, and they will replace Igor Borshev and Matt Graham, who are stepping out. 12:40 to go, third period. We'll figure all this out and come back. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here in Danbury, 12:40 to go, third period, and the penalties up on the board. 2 minutes on either side for Daniel Amesbury and Adam Hansel. So we'll have 4-on-4 action for the next 2 minutes, barring any other penalties, but that's no guarantee in this game. And now the referees are stopping things just for a moment, as they are having some extra words with Adam Hansel in his penalty box, and now they'll go over to say, I'm sure, the same thing to Daniel Amesbury, what they just said to Adam Hansel. And I can only guess that they're telling them, you guys better not come out of the box and drop the gloves, because we'll throw you right out of here. They want as little trouble as possible throughout the rest of this game. 12:40 to go. Gonzalez steps in, leaves it for Ratcliffe. Now over to McDonald. Whips it back over in Gonzalez's direction. He picks it up off the boards. Over to the far side corner. Dustin Henning scoops it up. Henning through the neutral zone into the offensive end. Henning absorbs a hit from McDonald. Ratcliffe has McDonald on the left wing side. Ratcliffe tried to feed it over there. Parsons able to block that pass, and then Rodriguez scoops up the shot from McKittrick. 12:06 to go, third period. Both teams switching up their 4-on-4 units. DeBenedette and Stefano in the face-off. DeBenedette almost found Marchison on the back door. They couldn't connect. Yao wanted the one-timer, instead wrists it on. That one hit off the dasher, popped straight up. Abdullah couldn't handle that one cleanly at the line. He's able to keep it in, though. Here comes Xavier Abdullah on the backhand, and Rodriguez gloves it and hangs on. 11:44 to go, third period. Another defensive zone draw coming for the Prowlers. They have the Western New England kids up front in Stefano and Diamond for this faceoff. Thackeray up to Stefano. Stefano backhands it into the zone. Diamond and Abdullah chasing after it. Abdella reverses to Yao. And now Yao gives to Kuznetsov. He starts up ice. Kuznetsov gets into the Prowler zone. Outside shot stopped by Rodrigue. Got past Diamond. And Dowler, fresh off the bench, gets to that loose puck first. Now Thackeray with some open ice. He'll take it. Tried to dance around Gonzalez. And now Thackeray has it back. Gives to Diamond. To Federley. He shoots, and McClendon makes the save and hangs on. Couple of chances for the Prowlers where they just couldn't get it into the shooting position, and Austin Federley is the one who finally was able to let it rip, and Frankie McClendon slides over to make the save. 22 seconds left to go in 4-on-4 action, and 1:11 left in this third period. Federley takes the draw, wins it cleanly. Parsons goes D-to-D, heading a drive, stopped by McClendon. 15 seconds left to go in the 4-on-4. It's sauced up to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe and Borshev on the rush. Ratcliffe trying to work around Parsons. It's left for Borshev. He goes up high. Gonzalez winds. Doesn't fire. And now Dalton Jay has a break going the other way. Amesbury back to defend. Jay shoots and missed it high. Borshev out to Ratcliffe. We are back to 5-on-5 as Stoya sends it around. Parsons. Head up. He cuts to the middle of the ice. Brian Parsons through the neutral zone. Dumps it in. Heads after it himself. Rimmed around this side. Foley put it on net. McClendon steered it to the corner. Here's Devaney. Joe Devaney, head up, nice move, gets the slot, and McClendon got a piece of that one. Devaney has it again. To Foley, in front, McLean, couple of whacks at it. That wouldn't go. And now Stoya taken in hard by a couple of hat tricks on the boards. And the whistles blow. I'm not sure exactly why. As Matt Stoya is back to his feet, the puck was loose. McLean and McDonald giving each other some slashes in the corner. And Evan Foley will be the cooler head that prevails here, escorting Torrey McLean away from John McDonald. Now Marchison coming over to have some words with McLean. We'll hold off on our TV timeout until everybody is separated. Yao in there to have some talks. Still chatting as they head back to their benches. And now the referee's handing out penalties. We will head to a timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Danbury, we have a couple of players that have been sent to the room for some early showers. At least one. As Jared Yao has been sent off the ice. I thought Torrey McLean might have been, but I still see him on the Prowlers bench. So I'm not 100% sure if it's just Jared Yao getting a penalty. There are 5 hat tricks on the ice. So we'll see, or maybe we won't see. Referees are indicating 5-on-5. So maybe McLean was sent off the ice and he was just lollygagging a bit on the bench. I don't see him there now, and he's not on the ice. And again, it's possible they didn't get ejected because there is under 10 minutes to go, 9:39 left in this third period. It's possible that those two just received 10-minute misconducts, and that sends them to the early shower. Either way, doesn't affect on-ice manpower with Yao and McLean in the locker rooms. Devaney, Foley, and Chartrand on this line. Estoya put it on. Waffle boarded aside by McClendon. Lugo got it deep. Marchison beat out the icing. Now Marchison gave it away to Stoya. Had it poked off his stick. Here's DeBend out across looking for Lugo. And he tried to put it back on net. Rodrigue made the save. Devaney plays it off the near side boards. Foley and Gonzalez after it. Gonzalez on it. Chartrand challenging him. Now Gonzalez gives it over to Abdella. That's gloved down by Marchison. He goes off the glass all the way down to Prowler ice. Lugo and Thackeray racing for it, and Evan Lugo wins that race. Hat-trick's able to make a full change thanks to the speed of Evan Lugo. Puck knocked down. Stefano was a bit surprised by it. Didn't expect it to come right on his stick. Prowlers have to defend a rush now. McKittrick stops up, makes a nice move, and he couldn't finish the shot. Puck pops back up behind the net. Stefano, head up. He flips it out. And now McDonald puts it back into Prowler territory. 8:09 to go, third period. Captain Dustin Henning. Long lead pass comes to Diamond. Diamond cuts and shoots. And off of McClendon and over top of the cage. McKittrick all by himself gets around Hainsel. He shoots. And Rodrigue up to the challenge. Matt Graham off the boards in towards Federley. Federley with outside shot saved by McClendon. Abdella there. Now taken away. Diamond off the post. The net's off its moorings. And the best chance the Prowlers have had in this game. The net comes off its moorings, and Jason Diamond almost that close to his first pro goal. Michael Falanga heading back to his bench, so nobody in the penalty boxes now. First time in a long time we can say that, but Jason Diamond has been one of the few bright spots for the Prowlers. Plenty of energy. He and Stefano as well. And the Prowlers able to sign him due to them being exempt from the roster restriction because they played in college this season. So the roster restriction doesn't apply to them, and we'll see if they end up playing more games as Prowlers or if this was just a temporary measure with the Prowlers down a couple of forwards coming to Danbury this weekend. Gonzalez couldn't reach that puck. Chartrand got it deep. McDonald almost gave it away to Dan Chartrand. Over to the far side, Gonzalez dumps it in. Parsons took a strong hit there. Put back on net, deflected a couple of times, and Rodrigue found it and pins it to his body. 6:52 to go in period number 3. So in all likelihood, the Prowlers are going to drop to fourth in the Continental Division, and that is just about sealed as the Motor City Rockers just finished up a 7-2 win over the Elmira Mammoth. This isn't the only, plenty of blowouts around the FPHL tonight, as the Watertown Wolves are up 9-3 on the Delaware Thunder. And that's the Prowlers' next opponent, that one late in the third period. The only game that's not a blowout tonight, 3-3, as Carolina and Binghamton play in overtime in Binghamton. And actually that one just ended. Yuri Pastuka scores the overtime winner for the Carolina Thunderbirds. Marchison back it in front. Lugo couldn't put it on goal. So Carolina gets a couple of more points. And the Prowlers are likely going to become the only Continental Division team tonight to not pick up a point. Of course, Columbus and Mississippi not in action this evening. Abdella played it off the linesman. Here's Stefano. Up, lead pass to Chartrand. Dan Chartrand stops up, shoots. Shouldered away by McClendon. Gonzalez Taken away by Stefano. Kid line out there right now for the Prowlers, Chartrand, Diamond, and Stefano. But it's Falanga working through the neutral zone for Danbury. Over to Ratcliffe. His wrist shot blocked by Hainzel. Ratcliffe has it back. Feeds it down low to McKittrick. Dowler up high, wrists it on, blocked on the way through. Parsons gets it out to Diamond. Puck, though, just did stay in the zone. Falanga shielding the puck, gives up to Dowler. Now McDonald, wrists off the back wall. Comes out in front. McDonald again to the far side. McKittrick from the goal line. Couldn't beat Rodrigue. Dowler down low. It comes around to McKittrick. 4:43 to go, third period. A Dowler on the one-timer, blocked by Diamond, and Diamond knocks down Brendan Dowler. Prowlers start a rush. It's Stefano at the end of a shift with Chartrand. Stefano shoots, floated it just wide. Thackeray stepped up, couldn't get it, so 2-on-1 developing. It's Kuznetsov with Borshev. Kuznetsov sent it that way, but Borshev couldn't knock it out of the air on the saucer pass. 4:15 to go, third period. Jay, quick up to Graham. Has Thackeray, he gets it to him. And it's knocked down there. Stoya on the backhand. Saved by McClendon. Prowlers whacking away. And Danbury will move back up ice. It's a 2-on-3. Everybody else distracted down by the goal of Frankie McClendon. Meanwhile, Rodrigue makes a save. Puck bounces away, and now they have Matt Graham looking for the breakaway, but Rodrigue's mask comes off. Now Graham and Abdella getting into a shoving match. Abdella gives a big shove to Matt Graham. And the referee's in there immediately. But the whistle blew because Danik Rodrigue's mask came off all the way on the other end of the ice. Oh, unfortunately for the Prowlers, they did not get that opportunity, but they might go to a power play here. And when we return, you're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
Every hit.
Good hip check.
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut back, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast on Friday, March 3rd, when the Prowlers visit the Delaware Thunder. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 7:15. It's all right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Now, you talk about a team that hopefully for the Prowlers can be a get-right team. That's the Delaware Thunder, sitting dead last in the FPHL. Got blown out twice by the Watertown Wolves this weekend. And with 3:45 left to go, though, in the third period here, Prowlers looking just to get one past Frankie McClendon. Trailing 7-0, but they do have a power play as Kyle Gonzalez sits in the penalty box. And we'll let you know as soon as we know exactly what the penalty is. And it's Matt Stoya starting the breakout. Prowlers have Stoya, Devaney, Chartrand, Foley, and Stefano on this power play. As Devaney, the one-timer, and he scores! And that breaks the shutout bid for Frankie McClendon. And some Bronx cheers here from the Hat Tricks faithful as Joe Devaney gets his second power play goal of the weekend and breaks the goose egg. So the Hat Tricks band still giving it to the Prowlers after that one, but hopefully for Port Huron, this is a weekend that gets Joe Devaney going, and that at least brings one positive out of it. As Devaney is, again, he came into this weekend with a 7-game goal drought, stuck on 19 this season, but he had one last night and one tonight. Those are the only 2 Prowlers goals this weekend. 3 minutes to go in the third period. Comes to the point. Abdella tried to play it across. Comes off the board. Chartrand has a couple of players breaking. He gives to Henning, but the pass was in his skates. Dustin Henning hustling it down. He gets there first. Abdella takes him into the wall. Good hustle there from Prowlers captain Dustin Henning. Lugo, though, back the other way. Lugo, outside shot off the side of the cage. And Marchessaint gets it to the point. Hops over Abdella's stick, or excuse me, that's McDonald. And McDonald sends it up to Lugo. Feeds it to Amesbury. Amesbury winds, fires. Gloved and held easily by Danik Rodrigue. 2:14 to go, third period. And the Prowlers are on the board. It's a 7-1 game. Stefano centering Federley and Jay out there right now for the Prowlers. Amesbury lined up directly behind Borshev on the faceoff. He couldn't get it back to him. It's Dowler now, and Rodrigue hugs that one to his chest for a whistle with 2:08 to go in period number 3. So it's Devaney from Stoya officially. The Prowlers' lone goal as Borshev tried to wrap around. Rodrigue able to get back to the post. Here's Jay. Couldn't pick up that puck, and then he plays it into an area, but the only one in that area was Dmitry Kuznetsov. Federley knocked down, still has the puck. Dowler plays it away from Jay. McDonald up the glass and out. Under 2 minutes to go, third period. Dylan Thackeray. Federley tipped it only as far as Dowler. Dowler off the boards towards Amesbury. And now it's Thackeray up to Joe Devaney. Devaney out there with Graham and Diamond. Graham drops to Devaney to the backhand. Diamond in front. They whack away. Puck still loose down there. Slips through the crease. Nobody home there for the Prowlers, though. Graham and Abdella having a conversation to the side of the goal. Meanwhile, Diamond almost had an attempt there. And now Abdella and Graham in a shoving match. Puck comes in, and McClendon able to make the save. Hainsel turned it back off the side of the cage. Now Diamond behind the net. Up high to Thackeray. Final minute of play in this third period. Thackeray gets it deep. Graham and Abdella after that puck. Pops out in front. They score, and it's Jason Diamond with his first pro goal. Boy, he's been sniffing around the net both of these games, and congratulations to Jason Diamond on professional goal number 1 in pro game number 2. 50.6 seconds to go in the third period, but at least something the Prowlers can smile about. As Jason Diamond, out of Western New England University, signed this weekend to play with the Prowlers, gets his first FPHL goal after 5 with Western New England this past season in 20 games. So congratulations to the Lakeville, Connecticut native. Shirley has family in the house for this one. As Dowler sends it in. 30 seconds to go in this one. So Prowlers get a couple of consolation goals past Frankie McClendon. Stoya up to Jay. Kept it away from Dowler. Here's Dalton Jay out in front. Caught up in Ratcliffe's equipment. Evan Foley at the line, deflected down. And McClendon just able to keep it out. 7 seconds to go as they tie up in the corner, and that's going to do it. As Parsons, one last shot, and he scores to beat the buzzer. And Brian Parsons has his second goal of the year. That one will definitely count, as it clearly went in before the buzzer sounded. So, if anything, unfortunate for Frankie McClendon as he gives up 3 goals late in this game. And the Prowlers just get some goals to go, and they'll just have a ceremonial puck drop with half a second still up on the board. So Brian Parsons gets his second of the year after Jason Diamond picked up his first pro goal. And a little consolation here for the Prowlers before they head home. Picking up no points here in Danbury, Connecticut. They fall to fourth in the Continental Division with Motor City's victory earlier tonight, and stuck at 64 points and are on a 2-game losing skid. Meanwhile, for Danbury, hat tricks continue to stay atop the Empire Division, extending their lead. Now with 88 points, they have 30 wins on the season and an impressive 17-1-2 here at Danbury Ice Arena. Their win streak extends to 4 games. Oh, you have to look at Johnny Ruiz as the star of the game tonight. 4 goals for him. The first hat trick in franchise history with a 4-goal game. He also got his 100th goal as a Danbury hat trick and took the team lead in goals on the season. So plenty of milestones for Johnny Ruiz tonight. It was a stat night for the Danbury hat tricks as they defeat the Port Huron Prowlers 7-3 tonight here at Danbury Ice Arena. One more reminder that the Prowlers' next broadcast will be next Friday, March 3rd, when they visit the Delaware Thunder. Puck drop at 7:30, pregame show 7:15 right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Next time the Prowlers are home, March 10th, when they take on the Elmira Mammoth, the team they swept on the road earlier this season. But for now, for everyone here at Danbury Ice Arena, thanks so much to them for letting me use their camera. I'm Will Wiggleman. Have a great rest of your night, Prowlers fans, and we will see you in Delaware next week.